Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, dear listeners. Hello, and welcome to the new episode of Realms and Nerds. I am RJ, as you have come to expect if you've listened to our show before. If not, welcome, and thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy this episode and our podcast in general. As usual, I'd like to mention that you can find us on several social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. Just a reminder that I'm working to get our episodes onto YouTube, so that will be another venue for sharing the show. If you make a post about our show on any social media platforms, don't forget to include the hashtag RealmsNerds. That's all one word, RealmsNerds. If you enjoy our show, be sure to share it with people that you think might like the show. That is one of the best ways for our show to grow its listener audience. If you listen to us through iTunes or Apple Podcasts, be sure to leave us a rating, and if you're feeling nice enough for a review, it'd really help. We appreciate the feedback and the support. Thank you once again to our friend Kyle for composing our main theme. We can't thank you enough. Thank you, listeners, so much for listening. And now, let us venture into the continuing story of the Return of Ornon. Previously, on Realms and Nerds, The Return of Ornon.
Joan Redsun, you are under arrest for the murder of over 100 members of the Law Enforcement Order of the Fist.
That law enforcement ain't no law enforcement, you damn know it.
You make it to the city of Reach. So as you guys have been halfway planning this idea to free Joan, suddenly you hear a voice from the next cell over.
Guys, I have an easier and a faster way out. I know a guy, but you guys gotta help us. Rob the Reach Trust.
Yeah, alright, sounds like a plan.
And suddenly, in his cell and both of the cells that you occupy, a portal opens up in the floor, and he says,
"Jump in."
So, and you are now standing in the armory of the Reach Sheriff's Jail. You are now joined by a new person. He's another dwarf man, Roland. He flings his arms wide and a portal appears in the wall. And he goes, "Grab your shit and let's go!" Roland jumps through behind you and you find yourself in the living room of a fairly unremarkable home. Roland presents you with this map that he's drawn up of the area. The outer walls of the building are 300 feet by 100 feet square. On the north side is a drawbridge that is the only door in. The entire facility sits on a rock outcropping 40 feet in the air. Once you are inside, there are guard towers at each of the four corners. 3 guards to a tower with almost 365 degrees of vision all the way around. There is a contingent of 15 guards that patrol around the outer perimeter. They make one circuit about every 5 minutes. I can transport y'all into the guard tower at least. You assemble in the main area of this house, and Roland sort of get y'all grouped together so he can teleport y'all in one group, and cracks his neck and sort of loosens up and goes, "Well, adventurers, ready to steal some gold?" So, you've laid out all of these plans that have been prepared and gone over all of the different maps and these schedulings that Roland has for the guard times and shift changes and stuff like that. And so, after you have done this for several hours, you guys have decided that you think you have a pretty good plan in place for how you're going to do this. So, I should have mentioned this also before. It doesn't really matter just for your plan, but just in terms of, just for the sake of having the numbers out there. It is obviously you're doing this at a night time, and there is sort of a low light. They have some torches, but it's not super bright. So the visible distance for all of these guards, because none of them have dark vision, they can see about 100 feet.
So we only really need to take out 2 towers, because that's like 150 feet from them. They wouldn't be able to see us.
So basically, the towers in the corners, they can see the one closest to them, but they can't see
The
far ones, and they would have a hard time seeing the door. Obviously, if you make a lot of noise by the door to get in, they'll hear you. But if you're able to, so if you want to try and subdue those guards quickly, you could potentially avoid the other 2 towers.
And is there a skylight to the vault or not?
No, there's not a skylight. You've got to make
it's a solid building with only one door.
Yes.
Is that door
Yeah, so
like
you
a
can't
portcullis,
drop
or is it
in
a
from the
literally
sky.
door?
That's actually a good question. So, the way that it is set up initially is that the guards inside the initial doorway area, they have a key to the first door. There's 2 doors here. They have a key to the first door, and then you can get in. But then once you're in this little kind of holding chamber, the 2 guards inside are the only ones that have a key to the second door. So essentially, when they go on their shift, they lock themselves into this building, essentially. As you've been sitting here planning, it has started to get dark, but what you've also noticed is that even though it's been getting dark, there's quite a bit of activity from the guards going on. So Brutus sneaks out and kind of, puts his ear to the ground, so to speak, and comes back. And basically, by this point, the guards have realized that you are no longer in your cells, and Jack has them looking all over the place to find you. So Roland says, "Well, I reckon that we ought to sit tight for tonight and maybe try this here heist tomorrow."
Is there any reason that we shouldn't?
Shouldn't what? Sit tight?
Shouldn't wait.
I mean,
Well, if they were to double the guard or something, I think something's about to happen. You never know. If these plans only work for tonight might be our best option.
Yeah, but Jack is here. You see, the only thing is that Jack just has a problem with Joan, and, we were free to go. I don't really think that he was expecting us to rob a bank.
Except we've also
Possibly incurred more charges by escaping our prisons.
we're definitely on their hit list now that we've run away without permission. There's
Yeah.
no way we're out from their radar.
But if Jack has all the guards looking for us, does that mean there might not be as many guards guarding?
It's a good possibility.
Yeah,
What if we allowed ourselves to be seen somewhere outside of town first? Quickly get that person teleported back while they're on a wild goose chase. We go after the fort.
Does your magic work in such a way as Roland?
well, I reckon I could teleport y'all to a saloon I know of just out of town. I think that, I've been there enough. I could probably get you a pretty accurate shot from the old memory. Why don't you all go down there, sip on a few cold ones with Brutus, and then y'all can come back here and we'll proceed tomorrow.
My worry is there any reason that we shouldn't wait to rob that bank?
What are you thinking?
The longer we stay here, the more chance we have of being caught.
Which is why I said we'd send them on a goose chase out of town.
yeah, I don't know. Can't agree with Rhomash, but I think that we should hit the bank tonight.
Roland, is there any reason that we shouldn't hit the bank tonight? What's your reasoning for sitting this out?
Well, you see, it's been my experience in this town that a lot of folks get real antsy about their valuables when there's some prisoners afoot, if you hear. So I'm figuring that if we sit it out tonight, some of the rich folk on up in the city might ship some of their valuables down into the trust, and we'll be able to double our haul.
Interesting.
So you're wanting us to wait it out to increase our rewards at greater risk.
Well, dang nabbit, what do you think I'm robbing banks for?
I don't know the hell of it.
If they put more valuables in there, wouldn't they double the guard on it, though?
That is a good point, though. Wouldn't they increase the guard if they increase with the guard?
That is why we would divert them to the outskirts of town.
You know what? Let's just put it to a vote. Who all Just say aye if you think we should divert their attention out of town. Aye.
Aye.
I mean, that's
Aye.
a no-brainer.
Well, that's 4 to you and Brutus. Brutus, how do you feel about this?
I wasn't disagreeing. I agree with you on sending them on a goose chase.
Then what was your point in bringing an argument up?
My problem is in waiting to rob the bank for later.
Devote the attention and then hit the bank tonight.
Roland, are you amicable for hitting up the bank tonight?
Roland thinks about it for a minute. Well, I think I got a plan. I think we could make work here.
Well then, let's do it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So, Roland gets you all kind of gathered in a tight formation in the center of the room, and tells y'all to kind of stay as close as possible. He says, "Now, y'all, keep your arms and legs close to yourself. Like I said, this ain't exactly exact science, but it should do the trick." And with that, he opens up a portal beneath your feet, and then drops you through it, and you land right outside of a saloon called the Wild Stallion, which is, as you can see, is kind of near the outskirts of
Is this a CD bar or a high-end bar?
No, this is a CD bar.
Alright, I asked for a bottle of cognac and immediately take 3 sips off the bottle and then throw it immediately on the floor. Next to the most attractive wench I can find.
Okay.
Rhomash, in the meantime, yells out, "Who's the toughest guy in this bar? Come on!"
Did we teleport next to the bar, or like in the broom closet, or
I think
just
we teleported
outside?
Outside the bar.
You're outside
I'm assuming
the
we
bar.
enter the bar.
I was assuming you went inside through the conventional means of the door.
Yeah,
We don't want to freak too many
Joan's
people
gonna
out.
just blend in the best he can since he is the one.
Rhomash is definitely going to stand out and try to get people's attention. He's going to try and pick a fight with the biggest guy he can find.
That there is Joan Redsun. He is wanted by your town's leader. Anyone who takes opposition to his presence here, draw swords.
You're going to have to go through me.
While these fellers are all making some ruckus, Seebo's going to his usual game, bundling a few pockets.
Let's do this.
So, we're gonna do this, this is not really a proper play, we're just sort of storyboard kind of play. So basically, everything kicks off with Rhomash taking a hard right hook from a man who you can only assume was a small giant. He's about 8, he looks human, but he's about 8.5 feet tall.
Hell yeah.
And catches Rhomash square in the jaw.
Come on. I'll take you with my bare hand.
Sort of slings him into the bar.
Does Rhomash shapeshift into a bear?
I wish. I haven't seen a bear yet, but when I do.
I'll take you with my bear. So I think that Rhomash is in this sort of fisticuffs battle with this giant man. Mikhail is kind of nimbly hopping from tabletop to tabletop, almost like, I guess the best way you can describe it is kind of like a sort of a kung fu style, like as he's going, kind of like smacking people or kicking them as he's running.
I was thinking more like
until he gets to this big guy that's fighting Rhomash, at which point he jumps and actually wraps his legs around this guy's neck and swings around and brings him down to the ground.
Like a leg chokehold.
Basically. And so then Rhomash, who thought that he was holding his own, now just throws up his hands in frustration.
That was mine!
Still only counts as one.
So Joan is actually his attempts to blend in have clearly failed, and he's in the corner having a more traditional brawl. He's actually picked up a wooden chair and is using it to batter people with. So this chair is now partially broken as he's smacked a couple of people across the jaw with it.
He also took his beer glass and smashed it and used it.
Oh my god.
So they're kind
Threw that in your ear.
So Brutus is
Got killed.
No, Brutus is actually fighting right next to Joan. For whatever reason, he kind of sees Joan as being essential to this plan. So he decided to stick by Joan's side. And as they've been fighting together...
Fireballs.
Oh my god.
Whole zone burns down.
Swings him in a circle, knocking both.
No, one of the patrons of this bar with more talon-like hands actually catches Brutus across the neck, and he gets a nice gash across the front of his neck, and he is actually bleeding pretty badly. At which point, Joan thinks that it might be time for you to make your exit.
Before we leave,
Whoa,
Rhomash
whoa.
grabs a guy with talons and throws him out the window.
What about Seebo?
Fuck Seebo. No one knows what's going on with Seebo.
Picking a couple of pockets, right?
Just
Okay, alright.
Joan picks up Brutus and peers through the crowd to the doorway's pretty clear, right?
more or
Like,
less.
by
I
the
mean,
door.
everybody's kind of brawling.
And he, holding Brutus, uses Misty Step and disappears from the spot they're in the corner and is now standing at the doorway and runs out.
So, Seebo, who has been having the time of his life here, picking the pockets of people that are currently involved in a brawl, sees one man who is doing his very best to appear like he's fighting, but actually is more or less trying to avoid the chaos. And he notices that he has quite a fat purse on him. And so he sneaks up and lifts that off of this guy's belt. But as he does, a figure dressed in some, we'll say, like kind of a mixture of metal armor and more of a leather armor kind of look.
BDSM gear.
Sure. Immediately catches Seebo in the side of his head with the pommel of his sword, and it is apparent from the way this guy's dressed that he is the bodyguard of this wealthy patron. So Seebo is looking like he's in a little bit of trouble here.
So, see, it's a bar fight, and you know, he doesn't really like killing people, so he doesn't really want to pull out any weapons, so, he just goes all gnome on this dude.
What the hell is goes all gnome?
I mean, he's like 3 feet tall, man.
Does he go like Rocky Raccoon, just leap on the guy's shoulders?
His mouth starts foaming and he starts scratching the fuck out of his eyes.
Just starts climbing
He
this
attacks
dude.
the baby.
So he's just fighting this dude. Okay. So I think that after kind of beating up on this guy, it looks like this guy's about to get I'd say it's probably about a 50-50 shot, but then Mikhail, now realizing that Joan and Brutus are gone and that it might be time to make their leave, yells to Rhomash to go help Seebo so they can get out of there.
Rhomash, exit stage left.
Got it. Run straight at Seebo.
Wait, but does
I
Seebo
run
pick up
over.
hers?
I run over.
Yeah,
grab
no, you
Seebo,
already
and
got
jump out
the
the
purse.
window.
Oh, you grab Seebo and jump out the window?
I'm grabbing him and just jumping out the nearest window.
Well, Mr. Murgatroyd.
So you all kind of gathered together on the roadside,
Playing Willie
and
Nelson's on the road again.
what?
Playing Willie Nelson's on the road again.
Sure. At this point, Brutus looks pretty serious. He's bleeding pretty bad.
I pull out my viola and just start playing.
No.
Taps.
And so as you're all grouping back up, a squad of guards comes running down the road, and seeing you standing there, the leader of these guards yells, "Halt!
Exit stage right.
Oh, come on, we can take him.
Joan Redsun, you are a prisoner of the town of Reach. You must surrender immediately."
Eat
And-
my shorts.
After the guards see you, you grab Brutus and kind of drag him along and get kind of around the edge of the building. And then, with that, Seebo utters a chant in Thieves' Cant that Roland taught him earlier this afternoon. And a few seconds later, a portal opens up beneath your feet, and you drop back down into the room where you were before.
Brutus needs medical attention now.
So now that we're back in the safety of the home, Seebo's gonna open up that purse that he fought so vigilantly for.
Rhomash finds a bandage for poor Brutus.
Okay.
I think you need more than a bandage
we
for
have healers in this party.
I am not wasting a spell on this guy.
God, okay, I'll call it a free action. Just heal the fucking dude.
Fine, I'll heal the fucking dude.
Seebo, through your various pickpocketing tonight, you were able to net 600 gold.
Damn, baby. I think you should share some of that. We were kind of the distraction.
Do you know that he has a bunch of gold?
No, I'm saying, I'm talking to
count.
Brandon, not Seebo.
Seebo, how did you pick such a large and grisly opponent for combat?
Yeah,
You're a great little soul.
see, back in my home country of the forest, we were accustomed to fighting bears when they came around our living
Ever
space.
so small. Didn't the gnomes travel in a pack?
Oh, of course, yeah. You know, it was kind of like we group slaughter.
Is that why I never see any gnomes anywhere? Because they go running the woods looking for bears?
Well, I mean, we didn't go looking for bears, but
So what you're saying is that when we rob the bank, we should just teleport you alone, since you know how to fight bears, to take on a couple measly guards.
Yeah, you seem like the tough guy.
Yeah, the rest of us can go together and you can just go by yourself. You got this.
yeah, it sounds like a plan, guys.
You have your ass handed to you in 5 seconds.
Have some faith, my
Hey,
friend.
look who's in the obituary today.
I know that.
So are we ready to rob a bank?
Oh yeah. I'm pumped. Let's do this.
So you guys are cleaning up. As you're cleaning up, one thing that you notice is that even though Rhomash healed Brutus, something in the type of injury that he sustained, the way that it healed just didn't quite heal correctly. And so his voice is very raspy. As he goes and he kind of cleans himself off, and then when he comes back out, he goes, "Well, boys, I'm feeling quite a bit under the weather after that there brawl, but I think I'm still good to complete the mission. Let's pull off this heist."
Hoist? Alright, let's pull off this hoist.
Oi!
Hoist.
Let's do this.
Rhomash using Ogurly. God, what does it mean? Mess up words. Ogurly?
I see Mowgli. Hell yeah.
Using.
I'm feeling big, baby. Let's knock some guards' heads.
You seem overly.
Yeah.
You seem overly eager to rob a bank.
I'm in the mood.
Joan backs up 30 feet to another room and locks the door behind him.
Okay, now that
All
we're
right.
ready to jump, let's go.
So, you guys have all collected yourselves, gathered your equipment, and you are sort of ready to go. And before you depart, Roland says, "Well, I don't know what y'all did to piss off Jack, but it's looking mighty hairy out there, so keep your heads down, alright?"
Yeah, alright.
You do the same, buddy.
Quick thing, Roland, do you have any duffel bags that I could take with me for all the loot and pull out of the vault?
Make sure you count those duffel bags there, Roland.
There's only 3 duffel bags.
So, yeah, so Brutus actually,
there were 6.
Brutus actually unslings his pack off of his back and opens it up and shows you some burlap sacks that he's got in there. And he goes, "This isn't my first rodeo. I'm ready to go. I got plenty of bags here to haul the loot up."
Nice.
So, Roland leads you guys through some back alleys, kind of through the darkest parts of town, until you reach an area that is close to the southern edge of town, where there is a sort of a plateau, and built into that plateau is your target. So, essentially, what they did here was there was a part of the plateau that kind of extended out a little bit farther than the rest, and so they went in and kind of chipped away at some of the cliffside to make it so that there's really just this one kind of ramp that leads up to the doorway, and that's the only way. The rest of it is just this cliff face all the way around. So it's sitting there kind of all by itself. So you get into position near the base of it, and okay. So do we decide here? Are you guys splitting up into two groups? Then you're going to hit two towers simultaneously.
Yes.
Yes.
We can't let them have one tower that's going to be able to call out there.
All right. So for reference, the main gate, the only quote unquote real way in and out, faces to the south. So when we're talking about sides of the building and whatever, just so you know for
So the
reference
city's
here.
over there.
Yes.
Okay.
So the city is to the north of the building.
And you said there are more guards or soldiers or whatever over here from the south. I thought last week you said something about there being more outside the complex.
Yeah. So okay. So what the deal is the doorway faces to the south, right, kind of away from town. However, once you get across the sort of bridgeway part, if you will, the bridge that they kind of artificially created, that bridge area. The road comes and then kind of curves and goes down sort of a hillside going back towards the city, right?
Yeah.
That's how they break things in and out. So down near the base of the cliff, there is a garrison of soldiers that is stationed there. It's about 50 soldiers. And so if the soldiers up here alert them, they'll come running up the cliff.
So there's somewhere, say, over here.
So they're off to the west. So you guys came up and are now on the northeast side.
Alright, so it is... Clarify what the two groups are.
Well, according to him, he wants to meet...
I think we could do Rhomash and Joan with Seebo, Brutus, and Mikhail.
That sounds good to
What
me.
did you think?
Oh, we were staying. Yeah.
So you want
All I know is
me
that we should
or
not
up me and
split it
you
up the
and-
way Bronson said earlier about him and
We
Rhomash.
could do Mikhail and Joan, and I think what you were saying is Brutus, Seebo, and Rhomash.
Okay, we can do that.
So,
Are we
okay.
going Rhomash, Seebo,
Yes.
and
You two, and us, and
Brutus?
we can cover the level one.
So Rhomash, Seebo, and Brutus are together?
Yep.
Correct.
Then we have Joan and Mikhail.
We can call ourselves Elf Bros.
You're only half up.
Or not.
Shut your face, it still counts.
Alright. Y'all ready to rob a bank?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
We got
Sure.
the plan laid out, we got the distraction on the other side of town.
Technically, it's a trust, but tomatoes bottom.
Well, I trust that we'll be able to rob this.
Semantics. So before you guys get grouped up in your different squads, and before he teleports you in, and believe it or not, he's actually able to keep his voice very low. and he says to you, "Well, I know what y'all did to."
What'd you do to your voice?
Are you telling me you've been able to speak this quiet the whole time and just loudmouth the fuck off?
Yeah, for real, man. Like, I understand, but,
Please, hey, hold on. Please, you fucking cowboy, we're on a job, alright? This is professional.
Is your cousin named Joshua?
Did you finally actually sober up?
Listen to me. Listen. I don't know what y'all did to piss off the Black Adder, but just listen, be safe in there, alright?
Who the
Why does Jack get a cool nickname and I don't?
The Black Adder, that's the man you've been calling Jack. And he turns and looks at Joan and goes, "You ain't told them?"
Oh, I didn't feel it was pertinent.
He leans in even closer and goes, "Listen to me. That man is death himself. He is the terror of the fist. Nobody, I tell you, nobody crosses Jack and lives.
So he is the man we must confront, is what you are telling me.
Just be warned.
so you're telling us
You're
that
looking
we
at
didn't
proof
go
against
messed up. We all got on his bad side.
The hell's wrong with you, Seebo?
Seebo, are you okay?
You're a stroke over there, buddy.
I'm just saying.
I mean, well, you're looking at proof otherwise. I crossed him many times, and I'm still here.
Okay, he's really dangerous. Let's just do this thing.
And then,
Shut up. That's just how we talk.
Who the fuck is that?
Tell me more about this guy.
tell me more.
Does he look like a bitch?
He's a warlock that transformed himself into a bat.
Anyway, that'd be a
Sounds
druid,
more like
dumbass.
a man bat to me.
Alright. So with that, Roland does his thing and transports you guys through. And next thing you know, your two groups are standing in the center of the two respective guard towers. So Team 1, which is Rhomash, Seebo, and Brutus, they went to the far tower. So that is the southeast tower. And Team 2, which is Joan and Mikhail, went to the northeast tower.
Team of fools.
So,
Rhomash and Munchkins.
I think I like
okay,
the
so team 1 people, you guys,
Brutus and the boys.
roll your, initiation first.
I got a 7.
So, okay.
I'm sure El Brutus did better than I did. What do you get?
Take a wild guess.
You got 7, didn't you? We have to roll to see who goes first between us.
Okay, so, Rhomash, what did you get?
7.
Okay.
Same with Seebo.
Seebo has 7 as well.
I really hope they all roll once.
20, 20, 20.
Now,
Right.
Nat 20.
And then
nat
there's
20,
Brutus.
nat 20. And Brutus rolls a critical fail.
Okay, so, group number 2, Joan, what did you roll?
What? You didn't have us roll yet.
I told everybody to roll.
You told
No,
group
you
one to
said
roll.
group 1 to 1.
Okay, everybody roll.
15.
11.
Okay, so in the first tower, before anything else kicks off, Rhomash, you get one opportunity strike here.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I guess I'll swing my scimitar at one of the guard, looking outward, I guess. 7.
7 is not going to do it. And then in Tower 2, Mikhail, you also get an opportunity strike.
Please do that.
I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark, pick a target, and I'm going to drop my rapier behind my shield, and I'm going to go for the first guard that I'm closest to, for a 23.
That'll hit him, yep.
11 damage.
So what happens here actually is, as they're teleported in, Mikhail sees this guard, and as the guard sort of hears them drop and turns to face him, as he said, he kind of readied behind his shield with his rapier. So he stabs straight forward and caught him directly in the throat with his rapier. And as he withdraws his sword, a spew of blood just comes out and covers Mikhail, and this guard just drops to the floor.
That's just gross.
That's right, you're the only one with me.
Yeah. So now the way that we're going to handle this is I'm going to alternate. So
Hunter's Mark also changes targets. to the next
He can choose a new
available
target when his
Yeah.
target dies.
Yep.
Doesn't that require concentration?
Mhm.
Oh no? It just lasts a minute or something like that?
It lasts an hour.
Fuck.
okay, how does Hunter's Mark work again?
You choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack. You have advantage on any wisdom, perception, or wisdom survival checks you make to find. The target drops to 0 hit points before the spell ends. You can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn of yours to mark a new creature.
So not yet.
Right.
But it only affects him.
Bonus action.
So yeah, he can do it before he attacks it. So,
Okay.
doesn't matter.
So, yeah, so the way that this is going to work is we'll do Tower 1, we'll do a round of combat, or rather, Group 1, we'll do a round of combat, and then Group 2, and it's just going to go back and forth like that. So, for Group 1, the first guard is actually up first. I think what happened here was Rhomash, when he landed, he tried to make a quick strike against one of the guards, and because he was swinging quickly, kind of just glanced off of his armor and wasn't able to connect. So now these guards are aware of your presence, and you are engulfed in a fight here. So, guard number 1, so he is going to take his spear and try to hit you with it. Yeah, it's going to be a 6.
Definitely not gonna hit.
Yeah, so he's just gonna take a swing at you with this spear, but I think he's pretty surprised.
Scales are hard.
Well, I think he's pretty surprised at the fact that 3 dudes just teleported into his guard tower, and this wasn't really what he signed up for, to be honest. I mean, guard 1 here in the southeast tower, he really is just he thinks he's just guarding some rich people's stuff. He didn't think he's going to see action.
He just joined to try to help him get through college.
Yeah, I mean, it made his mom proud. He wasn't really into it, but it was just kind of seemed like the right thing to do. So he's not very into it. However, guard 2 is going to take a stab at you, and he's just a bitch, so he also can't hit you. He tries to stab, but he just doesn't stab hard enough. It just bounces off your scales, and you just kind of growl at him. So next up is Rhomash, who's taking some pretty not so serious attacks.
Rhomash is gonna swing his scimitar at the guy who literally just glanced off his scales.
Okay, so that's the second.
And the second guard. Critical miss.
Alright, so with a critical miss, guard 2 is actually going to take another stab with his spear. He's going to try and redeem himself here. And, yeah, no, he still sucks. He rolled a 9 there. Seebo, you are up now.
So Seebo is going to attack guard number 1 with his 2 daggers.
You're attacking the guard named Juan?
Yeah,
it is.
So 17.
Yeah, it's going to hit.
Alright, well, that's dagger 1. I'll just roll for dagger 2 real quick. And then that's going to be 14.
Will not hit.
Alright, so with the first dagger,
You don't have
7.
Guard number 1 is kind of still unsteady from his first unsuccessful attack. You're able to dart forward and sort of sneak your dagger underneath his spear, and you catch him right underneath his armor plating on his chest. You're able to kind of catch him right sort of in the hip, where the armor meets his greaves on his legs. But your second attack is not successful. He kind of blocks it with his the butt of his spear. So next up is Brutus. Brutus is going to swing his warhammer at guard number 3. That's the guy he dropped closest to. So he's going to swing at number 3. So that is going to hit. He hits him for 5 points of damage. And I think he, because he's a dwarf and he's short, he actually just kind of swings this hammer around and just catches him right in the chest and kind of dents his armor in a little bit. So he hits him for 5 points of damage. So next up is guard number 3, and I think that he's going to come right back at Brutus, who just took a swipe at him. That will not hit Brutus's armor class. So with that, we are now over to tower number 2. So guard number 1 is up first, and I think guard number 1 is going to try to attack Mikhail here. That is a nat 20.
How the mighty have fallen.
So 23, actually.
You seem eager. That is sort of funny, because you almost never get hit.
So I rolled double damage then?
That's correct.
I purposely chose not to have a 20 for my armor class.
So that is 12 points of damage.
Ouch.
So I think he actually plants his feet and sort of angles his spear down and brings up a hard jab and is able to just sneak it into the right spot and just absolutely stabs Mikhail inside. Slips it in right between his ribs. And with that, Mikhail is up next, actually.
I'm going to take a stab at the guard that just attacked me. With an 8 against AC.
Yeah, Mikhail is very much unsteadied by this attack that he just took. So guard number 2 is actually...
Stabbed my sword arm.
Guard number 2 is actually emboldened by the success of his compatriot. So he's also going to try and stab his spear into Mikhail for a 10 versus AC.
Gonna have to do better than that.
which Mikhail is able to fend off. So Joan is now up.
Alright, Joan's gonna kind of unsheath both of his daggers, do a little kind of toss with both of them and catch them. And he's gonna go after guard number...
I need you to do a dexterity
Fuck you.
check for me.
No, it's just like some aesthetic stuff. And I'm gonna go at...
No, I'm gonna need you to do a check for me here.
He pulls out his daggers and just goes after the dude.
No, I think I'm really gonna want you to do a check for me here.
No, fine. I've already had enough harassment on this damage now. I'm just gonna stab at guard number...
No, I really am gonna
Guard
need you
number
to
2.
roll-
Here we go. Yeah, I'm rolling now. Then that is going to be 15 versus AC.
50, yeah, that is not gonna do it.
Okay.
So you were throwing your dagger, right?
No, I'm
just stabbing.
going to stab him.
Okay, which one were you stabbing at?
Guard number 1.
Number 1, okay.
And then second one is going to be 16 versus AC.
Okay, that one will hit.
Oh.
I don't think you did a dexterity check for me, though.
No, I didn't, because fuck you.
I am going to need you to do a dexterity check.
For what? Fine. Dexterity saving throw? Or just dexterity check?
Yeah, that check.
Whatever. 20.
Yeah, Joan does sweep flips with his daggers before
Yeah,
he
of
stabs.
course he does. I said he does. And now he's going to deal damage to that motherfucker.
But you're not the DM. You don't get to say what you do. I do.
Alright, because this was the second attack, it only does 2 piercing damage.
Okay. So he is, he's looking very bloodied and not well off, but he is still on his feet. So now, now we are back to the first tower with group number 1. And so guard 1 is up first. He is going to, try to attack, Rhomash. With a 17.
Yeah, I'll do it.
That's 7 points of damage on Rhomash.
Okay.
So he catches him a good one in the shoulder, draws some blood for sure. Next up is dart number 2. Alright, so dart number 2, he's gonna try to attack Brutus. So he is not, that was a 7, he's not gonna connect with Brutus. Next up is Rhomash.
Rhomash is going to attack guard 1 for hitting him, and I guess he's going to do it with his fucking scimitar again.
Okay, scimitar.
That's what I get. That's 17.
17 will do it.
Thank God for slow papers. That is 7 points of damage.
So guard 1 is looking not well at this point. He's pretty beat up. But he is still on his feet. Seebo, you are up.
He's gonna attack guard 1 again with his 2 daggers, and then so I assume we're all within 5 feet of each other.
Oh yeah, we are.
So I can use my bonus attack.
Yes.
Okay. So then he's gonna also be taking his bonus attack if it lands.
Okay.
Is that called sneaking strike?
Okay, critical fail with his first dagger. Wow, a 2 with the second one. That's cool. Alright, is there something broke with the dial? There's 17. Okay, Seebo fucked up.
What's new?
Critically failed with the first one, and then almost critically failed with the second.
So I think what happens here is, because guard 3 is right across from guard number 1, who was, the target of Seebo's attack. Since Seebo did so bad, he actually sees his friend coming under attack here, and he's actually going to get an opportunity strike to try and hit Seebo in the back while he's turned away from him. That is an 11 versus AC. He misses. I think he nicks the edge of your cloak a little bit.
Not my clothes.
But he definitely misses you. So next up is Brutus. Brutus is going to go after the second guard. That's not going to hit. So next up is guard number 3, who I think because he missed his first attack on Seebo, he's actually going to try and take a second attack at Seebo here. And that is a nat 20. On Seebo. So 9 points of damage on Seebo here. This attack definitely connects. I think that this spear, Seebo's still got his back turned from him, so he catches him in the small of his back. He just kind of cuts him a nice good one with the spear.
Might have been a bad idea, guys.
So now we are over to group number 2. Guard 1 is up first. Guard 1 is going to try to attack Joan here. It's a 7 versus AC, so that's not going to do it. He's pretty unsteady on his feet because he's not doing good, so he can't see straight. He just kind of misses Joan. Next up is Mikhail.
Nat 1.
Alright, who are you attacking?
The one who had stabbed me, so that would be guard 1.
Okay.
Oh, you mean the about to be dead guy?
And with rolling twice for damage, do I also roll twice for Hunter's Mark?
No.
I didn't think I did. So 12. 19 damage.
He's definitely.
You just shove him over the tower.
He shoved it straight
Actually,
through his eye.
that'd be
I
bad.
draw and quarter him with a single strike.
So here's what happened. Mikhail, his last hit that he took with the spear, actually brought him down to one knee because it was just such a heavy strike. He was kind of down on a knee, and so he actually, with his sword, when he stands up, he swings and catches this guy right between the legs and comes all the way up his body, up to his breastbone, and then rips his sword out.
Mikhail kneels for no man.
And this guy just drops to the ground, and again, Mikhail is covered in a fountain of blood.
Man,
Guard number 1.
Bahamut. No, it's the blood of a couple of dead guys you killed, but...
And I just have to point out, just for the sake of it, guard number 1 is at negative 17 hit points.
He's super
You
bad.
wasted your hand.
So next up is guard number 2, and he actually saw what happened to his buddy just now, and he likes the family jewels, so to speak. So he's going to decide to try and attack Joan instead, because he wants to give Mikhail a wide berth if he can. 9 versus AC.
That is not going to do
It's
it.
not going to do it. So Joan, you are up next.
Alright, I'm going to retaliate against him.
Alright. Well, that's good, because there's nobody else in the tower, so...
Well, I could go after Mikhail.
It's either that or start
Your
looking for
balls
trees.
sliced off.
Alright, same thing, both of my daggers. Not flipping them in the air this time. I already did that to draw them out.
Okay.
20 versus AC.
That'll hit.
Alright. Second one is 19 versus AC.
That will also hit.
Okay. So the first one does 7 damage, and then the second dagger does 4 damage.
Joan does a little duck and roll and pops up right in front of guard 2 and takes his dagger and stabs him in on either side of the guy's head, right into the temples. And then as he pulls him out, his opponent just drops.
Way to go, Mortal Kombat, these guys.
So...
Oh, you say that while still in the middle of combat with all 3 of your guys?
Yes.
We're riding a little bit of struggle bus, okay?
So, back to the first group. Next up is one of the guards.
Kill some people.
Please.
Guard number 1, I think, is going to try and attack Brutus here. That was a 6. That's not a hit. Then after him is guard number 2. I think guard number 2 is going to try and go after Seebo here. And he has got an 8, so that's not going to hit. So, Rhomash, you are up.
I guess I'll attack guard number 1 again with the scimitar.
Okay.
I got a 6.
That will not do it. Sorry.
This die is fucking cursed.
Play again. Seebo, you are up next.
Alright, so Seebo is going to attack guard number 3 with his 2 daggers, and God blessing that one of them hits. I'm going to use the bonus attack. 19 for dagger 1, 17 for dagger 2.
That'll hit.
5 for dagger 1, 4 for dagger 2, plus 5. 4 plus 5 plus 5 is 14 damage.
Alright, so on this guy, Seebo, who's now very angry about his recent injuries that he's taken here from guard number 3, actually kind of jumps up on him and slices across his face several times before he just stabs his dagger into his chest and drops him to the ground.
Holy God, Seebo.
I didn't know our party had a serial killer amongst us.
So next up is Brutus. And Brutus is going to try to swing at guard number 2 here. Just a 20. But that'll still connect. That's a 7 points of damage. So he connects with guard number 2 with his hammer and does quite a bit of damage to him. This guy is looking bloody, but he is still on his feet. Okay, so tower number 2. You guys killed off all of the guards in there.
Yeah, we're competent.
My range with a
What do you think a
longbow
scimitar
can
is?
still reach
I just
the second tower.
Yeah, so that was what I was coming to. So, Mikhail, you were first up here. Do you want to? Are you going to try and do something with this other tower, or are you guys just sit back and watch?
With
Well,
which other tower?
Can I see what's
Our
going on in the
tower.
other tower?
Yeah, I think you can see what's going on in here well enough.
So, being mildly concerned for my compatriots, I am going to draw my bow.
Okay.
And going to aim for
Guard 2 is slightly closer to you.
23 against
What
DC.
is your range on the bow?
150 accurately.
So you're well
So
within.
20 there. So yeah, so you can hit. Are you going for 2 then? Guard number 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and that's 23.
Yep, so you hit him.
So that's plus Hunter's Mark. That is also a D8. 9 points of damage.
So you guys up there in the southeast tower, you guys suddenly see an arrow fly past you and embed into the neck of the second guard, and he drops to the floor. Joan, you were up next. Are you going to try and do something?
I'm not going to attack. My dagger's range is not far enough, and
go with
any
no.
spell cast by gun will create a sound which will be heard across.
I think what happens is Joan's hand brushes the hilt of his revolver, and then he decides that that's a bad idea, and he just
I am going to
keeps it holstered.
I am going to survey the area below us and try and kind of see where we're at down there.
Okay.
What do my half elf's eyes see?
Well, why don't you roll a looky check for me?
Okay. So, all right. Looky check. Here we go. 12.
Okay. So with a 12, what you can see is that the guards that are on their patrol have rounded the corner. They are about halfway down your side of the. So they are on the northern edge of the building, about halfway to the corner. So basically, what you can see is that if this fight in the other tower goes on for too much longer, there might be a problem.
Okay.
We've got one whole guy here.
I try to silently signal to them across the way using hand gestures that the guard is starting to make their way.
What about a misaimed firebolt in a mirror?
Yeah, short version is they're busy and they're not looking for your frantic hand signals.
I assume they're frantic.
Okay,
Jonas is
so
not worried.
next up is the guard that's left in the first tower, and so he is going to try and stab at Brutus. And that is a 15, which is not going to hit Brutus. Rhomash, you are up.
Alright, one last attempt at that scimitar. Fuck me, 7.
I just have to say, I like the hubris that you thought that this was going to be the last attempt for Rhomash.
This has been the battle in that tower.
I hit him once. Everybody on both sides of the battle was very surprised that a battle commenced.
Like, I'm not ready for this! Did you break the rubber swords?
I mean, come on! I told you, guard number 1 and guard number 2 are just trying to make it through college. They weren't really here for any.
I brought
fighting.
my Nerf sword.
Anyways, Seebo is up.
With foam.
Yeah. 2 daggers. Murder.
Murder! Murder!
First one's gonna fail. The second one is 15.
15 is not gonna hit.
So I guess 16 is there.
16 is the magic number. I found that out by getting a 15, then a 16.
I'll say because ties the
Ties go to the attack.
No, the magic number is 8675309.
Alright there, Jenny.
Why can't we just kill this dude?
Okay.
We gotta
Well,
get good. 'Cause you guys
next
are
up
bad.
is Brutus.
Brutus, I swear to God,
He's gonna try
the
and
tower is cursed.
Who's really the only one landing any attacks over there?
Yeah, I killed some.
Well, Brutus is gonna critically fail.
Take that.
We all rolled
He's gonna trip and land on his own
So
hammer.
guard number 1 is gonna take an opportunity strike at Brutus here, which is also not gonna do well.
There's just circus music in the background.
Rhomash is just going like,
So guard number 1, he takes a stab at Brutus and misses, and then he actually throws up his hands and just says, "Look, man, my name is Brian. I'm just trying to get through college. Can't you guys just go away? I didn't even want to be here."
Can we just knock him out?
or I have a better idea.
Just push him over the side of the wall.
So he's actually, that's actually going to be his turn. He's not even going to try and take another stab. Rhomash, you are up next.
If he doesn't feel like fighting, I feel like we should use him.
Okay.
Not like that, you perverts. No, you.
Rhomash the pimp.
Rhomash is
Work your magic here.
okay. All right, buddy. If you don't want to die, you want to try and help us out. Then you either help us or we're gonna kill you. You get one or the other.
Yeah, okay, man. All right.
Is he pissing his pants right now?
I want you to do a
Intimidation check.
do an intimidation check for me.
Oh, you could have done a persuasion.
Intimidation first, I think.
Oh, 19. Thank God, because I have +0 to charisma.
I intimidate the fuck out of him.
This dragon just.
There's an intimidation number.
Yeah, but
Yeah, +0.
He's got 0.
That's charisma.
That's
That's charisma.
That's his
Okay.
charisma modifier, yeah.
So he okay, man. All right. I don't want to die. Okay, and he just like drops his spear and kind of like sort of halfway puts his hands up and goes, "Okay, just like don't kill me. Tell me what you want me to do, okay?"
You're gonna help us because we are gonna get inside that vault. You are gonna help us distract the guards. Agreed. I gotta growl as I say this and show my sharp teeth.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll do whatever you say. Okay. And right at that point, the guards that are on patrol around the outer perimeter actually round the corner and are now just going past the tower that the other team is in.
I slam my hand on his face to hold his mouth shut.
And so, as they start to walk, they actually go, and so Brian actually sort of grabs your hand and kind of like meekly pulls it away from his mouth, like kind of showing you that he's not going to sell you out. And so he goes over to the far edge of the watchtower and kind of leans out a little bit, and he sort of waves his hand. Hey, Eric, how goes the watch? And you hear a voice from down below go, "Shut up, Brian. Keep your eyes on the outer wall." Yeah, okay. All right. Good talk. Bye. And then he leans back and goes, Eric's a dick.
You know, Brian, if you help us out, you say you're trying to get through college, right? You're trying to pay for college. If you help us out, we might give you a cut of the wealth we get from this, assuming no one sees you, obviously. And you can pay for college using the money we give you. You won't have to work here anymore. You won't have to risk your life anymore. You just walk away clean.
I relate with Brian.
Money in your pocket. You help us. Not only will you live, you'll have money. Get away from this place. Get away from the dick.
You've given him too sweet of a ticket.
He's a scared little bitch. I'm playing it.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll help you guys. And he kind of like looks down and I mean, you guys like beat up on him pretty good, so he's kind of bloody. His armor's sort of dead. He goes, we're gonna need to do a little something about this. No, I don't think anybody's gonna buy this.
Okay, from that battle, how much experience did we get?
None, because he's not dead.
Ha ha ha.
God, okay.
Battle's over.
Okay, so the battle's over.
Do we get experience points for making friends?
Did you get experience for bullying this kid?
Obviously. You always get experience.
Okay, so
Yeah,
25 apiece.
My idea is we use Brian here.
His pants?
Yes. To bring me and Seebo like closer. Like we pretend he's caught intruders, and he's bringing us to them at spear point. And when we get close enough, I'm going to try and cast Charm Person on him.